KALAMAZOO, ME, Western Michigan senior running back Jarvion Franklin entered the Broncos fall football camp in the best shape of his life. Under the guidance of first-year strength and conditioning coach Grant Geib, Franklin trimmed his 40-yard dash time to 4.48 seconds, while bulking up to 235 pounds. After tallying 1,353 yards and 12 touchdowns on 248 carries in 2016, Franklin seemed ready for an even bigger senior year, especially with the Broncos' untested passing game. That hadn't exactly been the case heading into last week's game against Wagner, as Franklin had collected 84 yards on 28 carries without a touchdown. Franklin enjoyed the first big game of his senior year against the Seahawks, as he carried 14 times for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Broncos' 49-14 win. "I couldn't have drawn it up any better scoring my first touchdown in front of my home fans," he said. As one of the team's leaders, Franklin wasn't feeling down on himself due to the lack of production through the first 3 games, but head coach Tim Lester felt the pain of seeing last year's leading rusher struggle to get going, especially after a 10-carry, 8-yard Week 3 performance against Idaho. "He was really snake-bitten in the Idaho game, and it was just dumb luck," Lester said. "He only got 10 carries, and he only got 14 this week, but it seemed like a lot more." Against Idaho, we missed assignments on only him. We just couldn't get him going in that game, and I felt terrible for him. A couple times he got the ball and made the right read, then one of our linemen fell off. We had a talk the next week because I thought he did everything right in the Idaho game, but we never gave him any air to breathe, and some of the other guys did get some." Jamauri Bogan, the team's leading rusher with 286 yards this season, and LeVante Bellamy, the team's speediest option out of the backfield, have split carries with Franklin throughout the early season, with Bogan rushing for 286 yards and Bellamy 213. An injury that kept Bellamy out of the Week 4 game against Wagner meant Franklin saw more carries, and he was able to use his combination of speed and power overwhelm the Seahawks defense. To have him be able to get going was fun to watch, Lester said. "He gets stronger as he goes." Only having 2 running backs made it a lot easier to get them more carries and to get them rolling a little bit. "He's definitely an unbelievable leader on our team, and when things aren't going his way, he battles through it, and I think he was rewarded for it against Wagner because of how he handled the Idaho game." WMU starts Mid-American Conference play Saturday, with a 7 p.m.Home kickoff against 2-2 Ball State, a team Franklin carved up for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns on 19 carries last season. Regardless of the opponent, getting that first 100-yard game was a big step for Franklin in building his confidence and affirming his off-season training. "It was one of those things that was tough, but I just stayed the course and trusted the process because we've been putting in work day in and day out, and I knew it was coming," Franklin said. My offensive line right now is putting in that extra work, and I know that we work too hard to come this far and not produce.